huge band in terms of the number of people involved in it, and whenever we go out on the road, it become like a small army. And Nick wanted something kind of light and breezy that he could just do casual gigs with. And he formed a little band with Warren, and it was called The Little Band for quite a while informally. And various people passed through the lineup. And then one January, shortly after the release of Nocturama, Marty and I happened to be in London, and there was an occasion where we could play together, and we just sort of did it, in a quite casual way. And it was a bit of a revelation, I think, for Nick and Warren, because they'd never heard, really, me and Marty playing properly together as a rhythm section. And it gave them a whole new kind of perspective on what, on the repertoire they had been doing, which was basically Bad Seed songs, and they were sounding very, very different. And I guess it was only a matter of time before, that difference kind of became so evident that everyone felt emboldened to try and do some material written specifically for that quartet.
Yeah, so that sounds quite cool.
That's how Grinderman came to go into the studio. It wasn't called Grinderman at first. We weren't even sure. We weren't sure what it was going to sound like, or how it was going to be received, or even if it was a good idea. But we were quite confident that we wanted to at least try it, and that's what we did. And by the end of it, we were feeling like we wanted to make another album straight away.
That sounds quite awesome, really. I mean, just sort of came together, did it?
Yeah. Well, we were spending a lot of time together, because it was a smaller band, and because it was built for speed, we could hang out together more, as, in that sort of way that bands hang out, at least in the movies.
Yeah. Well, I suppose...
Play together more and actually be a band instead of this massive thing that would only come together once a year and do a long tour and a recording session, and then not see each other again for another year and a half.
Yeah, well, all you guys...
That's what Bad Seeds had become, in a way. And I guess, being a smaller unit and being of a certain kind of attitude as well, because we were quite disrespectful to the Bad Seeds material, Nick included. We took a lot of liberties with it. We didn't stick to the arrangements as such, and some of our versions were quite raucous. So there was that attitude from the beginning in the band, and that easily translated into the sort of attitude that people have come to identify with Grinderman.
That's quite cool. So, well, I suppose it would be easier to come together and make an album, unlike some of the other projects you guys are in with a lot of different people spread out over the world. It is easier, is it?
Well, we're still spread out, but somehow, just numerically it's easier. And I guess also one thing that came out of playing together a lot was that we got used to improvising with each other, and that's become sort of the fundamental source of the compositions that go into Grinderman. They always start out as improvisations, and it's become a vehicle for that method of songwriting, as opposed to what has historically been Nick's method, with the Bad Seeds of going off on his own and composing on either piano or more recently guitar. The Grinderman music always starts out as a group effort, and then Nick takes it away and comes up with some lyrics. But even in that case, he's been in from the beginning, improvising lyrics in the studio. He's actually quite good at ad-libbing lyrics, and even after he's labored over them for a while, he tries to stay true to the spirit of the, those initial outbursts that he may have uttered in the studio when the song was first being played in its most primal, raw, spontaneous form.
That's really cool. I mean, okay, so do you guys bring that sort of spontaneity to shows? Yeah, well, you are. I mean, do you bring that sort of spontaneity to shows? Would we be able to expect when we see you guys? I think
so. I mean, I know I do.
Oh, yeah?
Like it or not. I certainly make an effort to not be, so wholly inconsistent that people are guessing what my next move is going to be. But I certainly try to do something new every night on the drums, and I think that certainly is true for Warren and Nick as well. I'm not so sure about Marty. Somebody's got to anchor it, but I have heard Marty taking on a few new ideas from time to time. Even at the risk of the whole thing falling apart. But that's the thing. We are so used to that sort of way of working together that if somebody goes off on a tangent or tries something new, we all find it very easy to follow. And in fact, it's exciting, and it's encouraged and endorsed, even when it fails.
That's great. That's such a great attitude. I mean, you guys are going to be playing.
Well, part of it's got to do with our age. We've reached a point where we're not really afraid of, we know this. You got nothing to lose in a way. We've got nothing to lose. We've done a lot of things, and we can be pretty fearless. If we weren't on the radio, I'd put it in a blunter way.
Yeah, fair enough. So you guys,
what I'm saying. It's like it's sort of a confidence that comes from not from apathy, but from knowing that the consequences of your actions can be positive as long as you don't feel like everything depends on it. Like the whole thing will fall into a heap of rubble if you occasionally fail. And I think failure is not encouraged as such, but risk taking is, and that happens in the studio as well as on stage.
Well, those risks have been paying off for you guys. You guys are going to be playing Big Day Out. I mean, you've played the Roskilde Festival.
I don't know if all of our risks have paid off, but
no, but I mean that's.
But it is good to be playing the Big Day Out again.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
You looking forward to it? You like festival playing?
I am because for one thing, personally, I'm looking forward to it because this band I produced, the Jim Jones Review, they're playing on the Big Day Out as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing them playing that festival and taking the next step. I believe it might be the first time they've been to Australia. And so that's I'm quite pleased and proud about that. And these festivals are always an opportunity to see some other bands that you wouldn't ordinarily see, and provided my enthusiasm stays effervescent and my stamina stays grimly resolved, I'll be able to make my way from tent to tent and see a few things.
Yeah, that'd be quite good.
Kind of dive in and do the show and then scoot off.
So, yeah, I mean, talking about that, I mean, are you guys going to be planning a bit of a tour? Are you guys ever considering coming back to New Zealand in the future?
You mean Grinderman or Bad Seeds, or
well, either,
or just us as individuals?
Any of the above?
Just to be clear.
Let's say Grinderman.
Yeah, Grinderman. Well, I see Grinderman being a long-term thing, so I have to say yes.
Oh, we good.
The sooner the better, of course. But I guess there's always that other band of ours that needs a bit of attention, and I think the time is nigh for a Bad Seeds album.
Sounds good.
We have to start thinking about that, and Nick needs some time to write that, and I'm not saying that we won't do any more dates whatsoever in the interim, but sometimes you have to balance things out, and it's hard to predict when exactly we'll come back to New Zealand.
Yeah, well, I don't think there'll be too many people unhappy with that. Anyway, bit of a last question here, bit of a fun question. Now, the members of Grinderman have some impressive and lush facial hair. Now, just out of interest, which band member's beard do you admire the most?
Nick's, because he shaved it off.
Fair enough. All right. Well, thanks very much for the interview. It's been great. That's for anyone who was listening, just come in. That was Jim from Grinderman, Bad Seeds, and quite a few other bands, it seems. And thanks very much for that, Jim. We'll get back to the show in contact. And if you wouldn't mind,
see you soon.
Yeah, we'll see you at Big Day Out.
Yep.
Thanks very much.
Ciao.